All right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Just kind of reflect on what we talked about. We had our WWE SummerSlam talked a little bit about my reactions and everything that had happened, which is it's all pretty crazy. Um, so yeah, without further ado, we're going to move on to our WWE Monday Night Raw preview. But before we do any of that, I want to remind you guys to use the tips and donations link to the GSMCpodcast.net. Shoot your comments, questions, and concerns. And just give me a shout out where you're listening from. Really, honestly, hit up the tips and donations link. Leave whatever you can. But honestly, just want to hear you guys' thoughts, your chats, and stuff like that. At the end of the day, this podcast is a hell of a lot better with a lot of audience engagement, 1,010%. So make sure you hit up that GSMC podcast.net. All right, so we have our Monday Night Raw preview. Obviously, you're gonna have some SummerSlam fallout, a lot of crazy stuff that's gonna happen in terms of SummerSlam. What's gonna happen next with Drew McIntyre, also CM Punk, also Seth Rollins in the mix as well. Building up for, I feel like it's gonna be like a triple threat match. Maybe at Bash at Berlin, you're gonna see some words exchanged tonight, like I said. Like I always say, to be honest, I have not checked out a single shred of social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever. Um, I have WWE Monday Night Raw taped, so I'm excited to watch it as soon as I get done with this podcast. So yeah, honestly, I'm 1,010%, excited as hell with, trying to find out what's going to happen next with WWE Monday Night Raw. So let's dig on into it. So at SummerSlam, you did not see Jey Uso, which was like a huge red flag for me. I felt like Jay should have at least gotten like a match on the pre-show or something like that, at least. At least. So now, we're here in Baltimore, and I feel like Jey Uso, you had Roman Reigns come back. You have your brother on the sidelines. Right now is the perfect time for, I feel like the reason why they didn't push Jay so much for the single superstars is I feel like they were, trying to, save him for like a bloodline kind of civil war here. His younger brother, Solo Sikoa, doing his thing on Monday night on Friday Night SmackDown, excuse me. And then you have Jimmy Uso in the wings, waiting, ready. So I don't know. This could be the build up for WWE Survivor Series. The next pay-per-view we have shoot. Fuck. I mean, shoot, sorry. What's the next pay-per-view? We Bash at Berlin. Bash at Berlin. Usually when WWE does PLEs outside of the United States, and I know this is gonna change, but overall, outside of the United States, they kind of use it as an excuse to they don't really change anything in terms of the storylines, in terms of who's the champion, not really any championship, aspirations or title changes in terms of that. So, that's just how WWE is. And I definitely understand it. But then again, at the same time, if you're a wrestling company, I wouldn't bank on holding the titles to pay-per-views and be like, okay, this is when they're gonna change hands, because then professional wrestling becomes highly predictable, and that's bad, obviously. Don't really have to tell any of you guys that. And it's just bad. It's just bad. All right, so like I said, Jimmy Uso might be there. We're gonna find out the next number one contender for the women's tag team titles. My bet is Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler. With Drew McIntyre and CM Punk, they will both be in Baltimore. They're expected to be in Baltimore tonight. We're gonna hear words from the new World Heavyweight Champion Gunther from Imperium, so that should be pretty cool. I Gunther is one of the most talented WWE superstars I've ever laid eyes on. But at the same time, I feel kind of bad that he won the championship. And I'm not trying to say that, they're like, you know what, after we decide what we're doing with this whole Judgment Day thing, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre drama. Let's just put the belt on Gunther and just see what the heck happens. Gunther's an amazing champion. He's an amazing athlete. Definitely one of the best to do it, to be honest. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't want him to be that placeholder champion. You know what I mean? Like that transitional champion. If that's the case, then you probably should have had Damian Priest just retain the title, 1,010%, in my opinion. But I don't know. Should be pretty interesting. Should be pretty interesting moving forward. Next, we have a Judgment Day breakup. We have Dominic Mysterio siding with Liv Morgan, and we also saw Finn Balor stick his nose into somewhere else's business where he cost Damian Priest the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Kind of sucks, but it's over. I thought Judgment Day was going to end quicker than it actually stayed, which is good, which is always a good sign. But it's time. It's time for a change. I think with Triple H Hall of X, you have not Gunther. Um, you have Finn Balor. You have Finn Balor. He's a Triple H guy, 1,010%. Now he's going to assume the role of the new Judgment Day leader. I want to see Finn Balor fight in bigger matches. Something that was kind of prominent on this whole entire thing ever since Judgment Day kind of came around. Even when Edge started, I was like, dude, to be honest, like I feel like Finn Balor is kind of diminishing his own value being a part of this faction because I feel like he can be doing so much more. He could be a main event star, 1,010%. So tonight we have the fall of the Judgment Day. The Wyatt Sicks are set to take on Chad Gable and the Creed brothers. We have Dakota Kai taking on Sonya Deville. Are we going to see a character turn for Damage Control's Dakota Kai? Last week you saw Damage Control come out, kind of being the baby faces. Everybody was kind of like, "Oh, okay, cool." Like, Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark and Sonya Deville finally have some girls that are going to throw some shade in each other's faces. And then we're going to see Sheamus take on the returning Ludwig Kaiser. We're going to see the New Day take on AOP. Surprised that thing is still kind of going on. And lastly, we're going to have after an altercation at WWE SummerSlam, we're going to see the Awesome Truth taking on A-Town Down Under. Should be pretty interesting, honestly. Monday Night Raw, I look forward to. Obviously, it's freaking Monday. So, 1,010%. Can't wait to see what's what. All right, guys, don't go anywhere. We're going to jump on into my top 10 men of professional wrestling. So, obviously, if you guys have some opinions about it, if you guys have some of your favorite picks, go ahead and hit it up in the chat. Tell me how you feel. And yeah, so let's dig on into it.